government website. This is GovPub C13-5D98CF3CC8D such and such, or you can just look up Recommendation for Interstate Criminal History Transmission Specification NISTIR 6820, Michael D. Garris, National Institute of Standard and Technology. I wanted to show you this real quick because it has a couple of words in here. And how they use words is the same way in how you find they use words in the titles and codes. And they don't always mean what you think that they mean. And they're not always defined the way they should define them in the codes, especially when they're using it in a way that's not intuitive. So if we go down here, we look at, this is authenticated U.S. government information from the GPO, which is the Government Printing Office. So this is an official government document. And this is, this report contains technical comments and recommendations regarding the Interstate Commercial History Transmission Specification, XML version 2.01, a national task force, the Joint Task Force on Rap Sheet Standardization, JTF, composed of members representing federal, state, and local criminal justice agencies. This has nothing to do with the actual people. This only has to do with their system that they use on the computer to track these things and document information and such. And the point I want to make here is that when you go down here to XML schema and XSLT technologies. Now again, this is just me showing you how they use words in such a way that can be confusing when they're not defined in the titles and codes. So the extensible markup language, XML, document is being used here in very general terms. It may refer to an electronic file, a collection of database records, a data stream, etc. In fact, XML represents the hierarchical content of a document wherein the example, street, city, state, and zip code are children of a parent structure. Address. So again, this is me telling you how they use words, and this will probably be in a title or code or some kind of law somewhere, and they'll write it just like this, children of a parent structure. And they won't really define what that means in the code. So you'll think that all this has to do with with children of a parent structure in reference to an actual living family. And here you see that that's not what it means at all. It's a hierarchical content structure for their XML program. Okay, so I've mentioned this a few times before about how they use words and the words don't mean what you think they mean, or when they do define them, they don't define them very well. They define them in a way that still seems like they're kind of using words in a intuitive sense and not in the sense in which they actually mean it. So when you go and you read the titles and the codes, you're thinking one thing and they're saying something completely different.